So I kind of decided to start making like videos and kind of just posting things. So I graduated boot camp November 30th. So like 2 weeks ago. Um, so technically I've been in A school for a week now. So I got here last Friday and we got one of my roommates graduated today and now we have an empty bunk. So I don't know, we might get a new person in here or maybe we just have to wait until next week when there's more graduates. So I'm gonna talk about boot camp. When I first, okay, I'm just gonna say, when I first decided to join the Navy, it was like second semester of my senior year. You know, I was dead set on going to college. I didn't want to do the Navy, but the college that I wanted to go to was a little bit expensive, and I just needed a little extra money, just like a little bit more help. Like, it doesn't even have to be a full ride, I just needed a little bit more. So my best friend, he was telling me about the Navy Reserves, and I was like, like you still get some help. They're obviously not gonna pay full tuition, but it's like, hey, they help, and you get like TAs, and you get your GI bills. You get so much stuff. So I was like, you know what, might as well. And so yeah, technically, if you don't know what your reservist is, the difference between reservist and active duty is active duty, you are literally in the Navy for however long you signed up, like you signed a contract for. You're in either in the barracks or you're on the ship, you're in the fleet, you know, you're in school, like the whole time you are there. For reservists, after boot camp, you go to your A school, you train for the job that you're having, and then once you graduate A school, once you're rated, you get sent back home. And when you're home, you're doing whatever you're doing, like you can get another job. Like, I'm gonna go to college. As soon as I graduate from here, I'm gonna go to college. And we report to our NOSC. So our NOSC is like any Navy base that is closest to where you're from. So I'll only be coming here, since it's Great Lakes, I live here. I'll only be coming here a weekend a month. And yeah, so I was like, it's not that bad. And I've been in ROTC for the longest, and I was honestly considering the Navy, but I just thought a college degree was better. So I was like, you know what, I wanted to see what boot camp was like. I wanted to be a part of that Navy life, because ROTC was something that I really genuinely enjoyed, and schooling was really not my thing. So I was like, if all else fails, I'll just go active and quit college, you know, and it was like a pretty good plan. So that's kind of what I decided to do. And yeah, so the first day of boot camp was pretty chaotic, not because of the whole getting off the bus screaming, because I live here. They sent me to the to the recruiting office. I was there at about 1 or 2 p.m. And so once I got there, actually, yeah, I got there at like 1 or 2 p.m. and they sent us over to MEPS. So basically where you go to swear in and stuff. So we get there, we kind of just check in, and then I go to my hotel. And for my hotel, I'm there the whole night, so I was in my hotel from like 3 p.m. until whenever I fucking fell asleep. And the morning after, I had to wake up at like 4:40. I had to be down at the lobby because they were gonna give us breakfast. So yeah, I got my roommate, and she was the only other female shipper for the Navy, and it was really cool because we got to talk a little bit. Her family was also here, so she kind of left, and I was like, oh shit. But it was funny because we sat there and we're like, oh, we're the only two females going for Navy, so we might be put in the same division, you know. And I was like, oh, it would be pretty cool if we did, because, you know, we already got close. So the morning after, we ate breakfast and we get sent to MEPS. So from like 5 in the morning until like 2 p.m. we were in Milwaukee MEPS, and we had lunch, and then once we had lunch, we did our final swear-in, and then we left. So basically, we got to boot camp, we got to the base at around 3 p.m. So when we get to the base, you know, I was expecting the worst. I was the first one off of, they put us in a van. It wasn't a bus, it was a van. I was the last one off the van. The first one off the van, I'm sorry. And I was so scared. I was like, no, like, I don't want to go through these doors. So it was 6 of us. It was me, Alexis, the female, and, well, Hernandez. And there was, like, 4 or 5 other guys. And I was like, oh, my God. And you can't look through those doors. Those doors were pitch black, and nobody was there. And the driver, the van driver, he was like, oh, I'll walk you guys in since no one's here. And I was like, oh, God, like, you don't know what to expect. Like, no one ever goes through this. You don't know how it's like. So obviously I was nervous, and I walk in and there is a petty officer. Yeah, there's a petty officer, and I was expecting her to start yelling and screaming, you know, and no, the building was dead silent. There was nobody there. It was just that petty officer and a couple other like petty officers and like a chief here and there. So you walk in, and yes, sure enough, there's the flags, and she's like, come over here. Like, there's only 6 of you, so 3 in front and 3 in the back, like side by side on the flags. And she was like, okay, here's what's gonna happen. You guys are gonna take off all your outer garments, put on like any bags that you have, put them behind you. So we put them behind us, and she's like, all right, grab your phone with your left hand, hold it over your ear. You grab your phone, and she's like, all right, you guys have a minute and like 50 seconds to call whoever you need to call to let them know that you're here safe. Go. And you got to tell them, I'm here. You're gonna get a box of my stuff within the next like couple of days, and I will be able to call you within like a week or 2. So I said that, hung up, and then after we did that, we sat in a classroom for what? We got there like at 3. Everybody else was not supposed to get there until like 10 p.m. So theoretically, we sat there for about 7 hours. And then at 5 p.m. we went to go get chow, and then we came right back. So we just sat there. Hango! Yeah, we just sat there. Y'all can meet my roommate. This is Hango.
I got you a brownie.
Bet. This is Hango.
What's going
my
on?
Freaking roommate. She was also in my division for Bootcamp. But yeah, so we got there, and then it was around 9 when we finally decided to start getting our stuff on. So we got our PT gear, and they just decided to tell us, hey, when all the other recruits get here, you guys are gonna help. So we decided to help out with the female side, and I was assigned to start, you know, giving people bras. So I was assigned the bras, and then Hernandez was supposed to be giving the underwear, and then you also get a bathing suit for when you take your swimming test. And that took quite a while. And as soon as they got there, that's when the yelling started, and it was just frustrating because, you know, everyone was scared, nobody was listening, and it was really late. And then personally, I feel like that really helped because, like, I was in that room from 10 up until I guess 3 in the morning, and instead of me standing outside with everybody at attention waiting to get my divisions, I was just going group by group by group, so that actually helped make time go by faster. So that was like the first day or 2, and then we didn't sleep obviously the first 2 days. I forgot what we did. We did basic shit, like we went to the classroom, they talked to us about, we had like moment of truth, and it was most of the first couple days are actually just classroom stuff, and we got put into our divisions. I think it was like the 3rd week. We got to meet our RDCs, and at first when I decided, you know, I'm going to boot camp, I was like, you know what, I'm not going to say shit, I'm not going to volunteer for anything, I'm just going to do me and chill. But as soon as they're like, hey, we need an RPOC, we need an AROC who knows how to, like, command, and I was like, so I auditioned for RPOC, but they wanted a male, so they got the male, and then I auditioned for AROC, and they're like, not really, right? So this petty officer, she said she liked me better for yeoman, and my best friend had told me yeoman was the worst because you do all this paperwork. You're in charge of signing everyone's stuff, making sure everyone gets to their freaking appointments on time. It's just horrible. So I was like, okay, I'll give it a try. So I was yeoman for like half that day, and then she decided to get me an assistant, and I kind of just let the assistant do everything, and she became the main yeoman. So I got my ass out of that one. And then our A-Rock, her name was Martinez. She was okay. I mean, you know, we had other divisions marching down. They'd actually sing cadences, and she would just be like left, right, left, right, left, right. So I was like, I don't really like that. You know, it's getting really boring. So I decided to challenge her. And that day, I think it was like me and like 2 other people. And so I got A-Rock. Was I good at it? Not really. Because, okay, so when we marched, you're supposed to have road guards. So what those road guards do is they go from the back of the division and they go up to whatever road you're going to cross, and they kind of stop cars. And there's a specific order that they have to be in, and you have to put them in that order before we start marching. And every time we left the building and I had to set them up, I would always like mess up the formation somehow, and I'd get in trouble. Chief would yell at me like every day, but I kept my job. I don't know how. Brother Div's A-Rock was also getting switched up every day. Like, there was, Brother Div had a new A-Rock every day, but when we graduated, we literally just laughed it off. Like, I have no idea how the hell we both managed to stay A-Rock, but we did it. So yeah, I got A-Rock, and then everyone keeps asking, like, what was the hardest thing about boot camp? Boot camp's really, it's, personally, I feel like it's all mental. Like, yeah, you get beat, yeah, you have to learn how to do all these things, but for me personally, the hardest thing was just to try to get along and work with everyone, because, like, I don't know, like, I love doing hands-on stuff. That's how I learn. But my temper, you need to learn how to speak to people, especially since I was A-Rock. Petty officer would constantly come up to me, telling me, like, the problems within the divisions, and I kind of had to talk to everyone and find out what was going on, like, on the low. Like, I wasn't going to be like, hey, petty officer told me to ask. Like, I had to, like, gain everyone's confidence so they can open up to me, and then I low-key kind of had to snitch on them. But, yeah, I had to be nice to everyone. You just got to really learn how to work as a team, and also learning that, you know, no one's always going to understand everything. My hardest thing was also, like, since I did ROTC, like, I knew all my shit, and when people wouldn't get it, I'd get frustrated, and I would get mad. But I had to, like, calm down, because, like, I did ROTC for 4 years. Everything that I did, it took me 4 years to learn it. It didn't take me 4 years to learn it, but I had 4 years to get all this stuff down. They literally had 2 months. And not even 2 months, because we would be required to learn stuff by, like, the 3rd week. So I kind of just, like, sucked it up, and I was like, hey, instead of getting mad, let's just show them. So I went and I decided to just, like, show people how to shine shoes, or, you know, show them ways to memorize things. And you have to grab your strengths and help people that aren't great at that. And at the end of the day, everyone says it, like, you are as strong as your weakest link. So don't ever go to boot camp thinking, like, hey, I'm good, and if they fuck up, then y'all fuck up, that's on you. No, your division is as strong as your weakest link. We had a couple people that we really tried to help them. At first, it was like, oh shit, then that sucks, like, you're struggling. But we actually did try to help them, and if you didn't really catch on, then eventually you were AS mode. If you don't know what AS mode is, basically, you just didn't make the cut, or, like, you're not good at what you had to be doing. Some people got hurt. If you were sick too much, then they will ASMO you. You just get set back, and depending on what you do, that's how long you'll get set back for. Like, say if you need to recover for a long time, then they'll be like, okay, you need to get set back 3 weeks, then you'll get put into the division that's great, like 3 weeks before us. It just all depends. Yeah, like, I don't know. You guys keep asking for, like, advice and tips and stuff, but I really don't know. Like, just know that you need to walk in there with an open mind. And one thing that a lot of people struggle with, know where you're going. Personally, our RDCs were extremely lenient. Oh, I gotta go muster. But Yeah, like just know why you're there. Understand that it's boot camp. You're gonna get yelled at. People are gonna tell you what to do, and it's not for you to be like, oh, what the fuck? Why do I have to listen? People are gonna be the same age as you, probably even younger than you. They're gonna be telling you what to do, and you just gotta suck it up, do what you're told. Because at the end of the day, you work as a team, and you just gotta get whatever you gotta get done. But yeah, that's kind of like my shit on boot camp.